Upper class thugs take middle class drugs, and we all get lowered inside. And God knows that it's a common misconception that I'm the only one for you, and I can take you out for breakfast, but he could take you round the world. And Fred Astaire's the man for you. Well, he could buy you a diamond ring, or he could get you anything if you ask him to. He probably knows how to dance, and he can fly you to France, and you could do it all night long. And God knows that it's a common misconception that I'm the only one for you, and I could take you out for breakfast, but he could take you round the world. And Fred Astaire's the man for you. And God knows that it's a common misconception that I'm the only one for you, and I can take you out for breakfast, but he can take you round the world. And Fred Astaire's the man for you. It's gonna take a little time. You're gonna change your mind. You're gonna toe that line always. What's it gonna take out of me to get me nowhere I want to be? I say I don't know, I don't know. I say I don't know, I don't know. You've got your eye on the green, but take a sit down and find out what to lean. I say you will not, say you will not let it get to you. Just take one breath. Let me cut on it. I need a souffle, don't flee from me. Ice cream, chocolate, go diva, go diva, go diva. Turn up the volume. This feel like hallelujah. Cue the choir too. I'm up the holy, you fry like a polio. I got a chicken coop, dip out interior barbecue. I'm fly while she want the cockatoo. And that's on my bird like a big my guy. Standing over how they greet my guys. Straight out the mud like a.
All right. Welcome everybody. What's happening? Hello. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Tradetopia, a trader's utopia. Here, we're building freedom one trade at a time. Right? We don't think about the past. We take from it what we needed. We move on. But what we're going to be doing on these sessions, as we do basically every day, we're going to be looking at indices. We're going to be looking at the majors. We're going to be looking at metals, some oil, a little bit of crypto, Bitcoin, a little bit of stocks. We'll dabble, look at the portfolio overall. But yeah, we're going to take some trades live, more than likely. If we don't, that's also cool. Just going to wait for our setups. This is my version, my approach with smart money, the narrative of the market, a little bit of Wyckoff, all that good stuff. So yeah, that's what you can expect out of this session. After doing this for 10 years, I feel very, very good just hosting these live sessions here, giving you guys a great place to have a foundation, have a structure on how to have a trading system, how to manage your emotions live. So yeah, you guys just be seeing me narrate the entire trading process. You'll see me either win or lose in front of you, thousands of dollars. And yeah, it'll be a good time. So let's dive into it. We got about 13 minutes before New York Open, my friends. So let's get it. And if you have anything of urgency that you want me to take a look at, go ahead and drop it in the chat right now. Very grateful. I got to give a shout out to my wife, Nance, man. Every morning, things are ready here. Got some water, coffee. Just makes my life a lot easier. So grateful for her. And then, grateful for you guys for being here, for like being willing to learn a skill that's hard, man. Like this is not like learning how to ride a bike. This requires you to break down a lot of parts of you. It's quite the mental challenge. It's a lot of resilience. And I will say it's not for the faint of heart, because you are going to experience failure constantly, and you have to be able to alchemize that. So with that being said, let's dive into it. Okay, so yesterday I wanted to sell to start the day, or right around the day, with indices. We were looking to short Dow. For example, we had Monday's range here, some New York session. So when NASDAQ cleared this high right here, we just took out this high. I wanted to short Dow. Actually, it was right here. So when it traded into the zone, I wanted to short Dow, but it didn't really trade too high. And then Dow Jones didn't quite clear the liquidity it had set up over here. So we almost pulled the trigger at what would have been basically the high of the day after Dow collapsed and dropped just shy of 536 points. So massive sell-offs overall. Still a couple key things that I like here with the market. I still like shorts with indices, but a little bit higher in this process. So let's see what we have here. And welcome everyone in. I see we got Brandon, Seth, Toby, Corey, Tio, Joe, etc. Isaid. What's up, guys? What up? Greg. Viva Tradetopia, cabrones. I love it. What's up, Roberto? Hello, everybody else. So check Nasdaq daily. Don't you think you could start to go up to clean highs? Yeah, I already looked at the daily. I mean, can we go up there? Sure. Does it have to be right now? I don't know. I don't know if it has to be now. So yes, there is some price action further up here in the range. You have some liquidity, etc. But you still have some open sell-offs over here. So maybe, maybe not. We'll kind of see how the market starts to flip around. So I'm open to buying. Totally down for that. I have a zone down here that I was waiting for yesterday as well. If you guys noticed, we had during Tuesdays, right before the London session opened, we had a nice sweep of liquidity, and the market rallied. It consolidated all of yesterday. I actually thought we were going to get the buy yesterday, but just didn't go deep enough. And then we've just consolidated and kept working our way higher. So we've traded all the way up into this zone here. So I still think there could be buys here, depending on the way in which we work our way down here is how I'll set up the exit. But we can go either way right now, because technically on the 15-minute, we're still seeing lower lows, lower highs, and we're within this bearish structure on the 15. The 5-minute is starting to trade a bit more bullish, but the 15 is still bearish. And we do have this move up here from Monday's New York Open as well. Meanwhile, though, looking at Nasdaq this way, Dow has been significantly more bearish, creating brand new 15-minute bearish structure here yesterday. So we had, so you have here the lower lows. The market captures liquidity. So you see the sweep of these highs right here, clears this. The market then consolidates, creates liquidity here, and then keeps dropping, which starts to establish newer lows. So we have our 15-minute bearish range. Here is the zone. That's why I currently prefer shorting Dow over Nasdaq. If you notice, NQ and S&P they've been on the smaller time frame minute, making higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, while Dow has not. It hasn't traded anywhere near yesterday's NFP candle right here. And I think we're going to get to there today. So, as we're looking at Dow Jones over here, and we can pull up, because you have New York Open here in about 7 minutes. But let's go back. Let's go back in time over here. Go back in time and see the unfolding of price action. We'll just go like to right here. So I want you guys to see the NFP candle and then everything else that follows. Here is the open. So you see a lot of money come in, clear out, retail sellers, the buy side liquidity. So we see that. From here, we immediately come back down, and then we start to try to break below the previous low. So we're seeing it work its way down here up until New York Open. New York Open trades into the previous, just like this previous order blocks here. It's moving pretty sideways, but all it does is create equal highs. So I don't know if we got a mitigation here, because we just traded out of within the same range. So I do want to see what Dow looks like when it comes back over here, especially when it clears these highs. I think there's a chance that we have a sell up here. However, what would make this trade even easier to just confirm is it's going to be based on where is Nasdaq when the market gets back over here. So when Dow gets back up to this level, whether it's today, whether it's whenever, what extra confirmations, what other confluence, how much more context do we get from NQ? So that's the possibility, is trading Dow here. If this does want to go higher during this session, then where would NQ go? Where would it look to reach? So is it going to take out the London highs again and go even further within this imbalance? So are we going to see something like that lining up together? I keep those things in mind. Now, looking at this from a buying perspective, if there is one, there may not be one. From a buyer's perspective, well, Dow is pretty mellow on the way up, whereas NQ has been actually creating higher highs and higher lows since yesterday. So yesterday's New York session didn't quite make it back down to here, and it's been establishing retracements. It's rebalanced, so you've seen the mitigation here, efficient here. So the market's really efficient up until this area over here. So we see a spike down here during Asian session. You see another push down. The market is very much efficient, and then we see a continuation here. So the last imbalance, the last inefficiency we got is right over here. So you see the market kind of spike down. Here's where it starts to push down and down and down. It meets a little bit of sideways movement. One last move. Right here. So you see a little bit of a drop here and then an imbalance. Could we get something here? Maybe. But this right here, though, this is the thing that I'm like, this is just looks like liquidity to me. There's a lot of retail buying up here, or down here. So I'm cautious with this. We see the market, dip below, continue, consolidate, continue. We created demand here for the last 3 hours, 4 hours. So it's been, it's been bullish. The market taking out this liquidity and bouncing out of here has some potential. Considering we're like in the middle of this range, there's liquidity down here. I don't think I would trade this with too much risk. This would be maybe a half-hour trade, and it's going to have to depend on what the rest of the market's doing. So if we're looking at just smaller time frames, you have Dow that basically moved really, really similar. You have, the push down here. Asian session is moving sideways. You get a little bit of a dip down before this just rallies. So you kind of have the same exact type of behavior. So could we see a reversal out of the same area here with Dow? I think it's possible, like just trading out of this zone. As I mentioned, I would just want to be mindful. I'm going to go half R because it's kind of like a middle of the range trade. And there is a little bit of, there's some vulnerabilities here, especially with the liquidity that we have with NASDAQ down over here. So we'll keep an eye out on New York Open and what this looks like for NQ or YM. Even S&P is possible. Every once in a while, we'll have a setup sneak in here. So if we're looking at just this 5-minute range, like if that's, let's say the trading that we're looking to do here, which would be below the London lows at least. So this would be taking out London lows and trading into the Asian session. So yeah, if we want to have a good idea on if this has potential, we can just see how quickly these are retracing compared to one another, and then we can make a better decision later on. That's indices, right? We have New York Open in 2 minutes, so we'll see what happens there. I will have, let's see. What we can do as well is start to just have our contract sizes ready if that is going to be the case. So let's just say that we are going to get a setup here. This way we would just kind of, we'd know exactly what we're looking for, what the risk would be. Like I mentioned, something like this, I wouldn't go full risk. I'd probably go like half. So let's say if it was Dow, I'm looking at about 18 contracts. If this is going to be an NQ play, looking at about, let's say somewhere over here. about 3 contracts, 3 or 4. So yeah, there we have it. I encourage you to do something similar. Just kind of know what your options would be, you know? All right. So New York Open doing its thing. We have a... we'll just let it do its thing. Trabajo, hermano, siento, pero tengo que salir. No le pares, hay que seguir. Wealthy Wednesday. Yes, sir. All right, here goes Dow. Starting to get a bit more momentum. NASDAQ as well pushing. So NASDAQ the first to hit this 50% level. But what really matters is where it gets to once we're at these areas. So let's see. I'm not going to take this too far. If I do get this, I'm probably going to just trade it back into where we have all of this support. So it'll probably be like a 2R in the best case scenario. That'll be what I'd be aiming for. But we'll see. Dow here as well. Whoa, Dow holding up really, really well. Playing out of these order blocks. Nothing I would trade. Like I wouldn't go for anything there. So a lot more bullish momentum with Dow off the rip. Look how we're trading way up here already. Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, look at that. Dow is just going crazy. On a mission. Okay, so now we're seeing Dow trade up here. Remember, we have this other idea, which would be to trade to short Dow Jones potentially, depending on how the market is, like how it gets to here. Does it line up with the entire thing? When I'm looking at indices, I'm looking at it as an entire asset class. I look at it as we're playing chess. They all move. They all have a piece connected to one another. So certain things are happening across the entire indice board in order for everything to align and play out. So, yeah, it's interesting. These are kind of moving in opposite directions to one another for now. So we'll come back to that. All right, we'll come back to that. Don't you worry. Metals. Okay, so we had our eyes on silver sells yesterday, but of course we have a one non-negotiable rule, which is the divergence with the correlating asset, which all that means is if silver is going extremely bullish, faster to the upside than gold. Gold and silver, they correlate. These are their best friends in the market. They basically move together. So if I'm looking for a sell with silver, I want silver to be going up slower compared to gold. In this case, silver was on a mission. It was like a loose bull running through Spain, and gold was chilling. Gold was just slowly, working its way into a zone. So I end up taking a short on gold here. Did its thing, mitigated, and then just took a small stop profit here. And then I had a higher entry. So this was the sweet spot up here. And it came into this. So there was a smart money buy before it dropped. So once it took out this high, traded into this area, I caught this short and I took it to the to this structure low. So the second trade here ended up playing out. This is like a 4.4R. So this is like a late. I rarely ever trade this late, but yeah, we got this idea, sniped this one, and then off we went. So what are we looking for now? All right, what's the mindset? What's the philosophy on how we're approaching metals at the moment? So take a look at this. Right now, gold is very efficient up here. There's no more imbalances in any of the range that we've seen so far since December 12th, since last Friday. What we have is the only other thing it could be looking for gold is this buy order that swept the all-time highs before it all started to drop all over again. So that would be our next target if we're going to sell something. Like I just mentioned, however, we're going to take a sell up there, we got to be aware of what's happening with silver. So right now, silver is nowhere near as bullish as gold is. Gold is ripping. It's almost back at clearing the highs from just 15 minutes ago. So right now, we saw the market pump up to here, lose a ton of momentum, but then it came just right back up. Like, it's not like it's creating new lows or anything. None of that. This just dropped to rebalance and then came right back up. So sells with gold as of right now, I'm not super convinced on. Meanwhile, what we have going on is silver ends up mitigating this buy order here. We see a huge drop. Now, I'm sure you if you had a reason to be in sells, this was easy pickings, at least for targets, just sweeping liquidity. And what we see is the market drops aggressively, clears out London session lows, Tokyo lows, trades into the imbalance, and then, well, not Tokyo lows, but, Tokyo consolidation liquidity. So it clears all this up. The market immediately comes back in. And then now it's really a question of, is this creating bullish demand if the market is going to just sustain this and then just want to rally further? So silver and gold here looks like they could be, maybe we have buy potential here later. I'm just going to stay put and let the market, let this prove itself. All right, cool. So I'm going to come back to gold and silver here in a second, but I want to confirm something. Right now, look at how NASDAQ is dropping into this low that we originally marked up, okay? Would you take a buy on NASDAQ here? I am not going to. No buys for me for NASDAQ. Why? Why am I now suddenly going to stay away from this? Well, we're noticing that NASDAQ is dropping and so is Dow Jones. So they're both now coming down together at the same time. They're starting to move at the same pace. Not at the same pace, in the same direction. So now they're trading in unison. If Dow wants to keep dropping, it's only going to keep pushing NASDAQ down, and I don't think this is going to hold. My data shows that if I'm going to take a buy with the asset that's dropping the most aggressively, there's a way higher chance that it's going to fail. So no buys for me on NQ. And then I'm sure some of you are thinking, oh, so what about this YM? Like New York Open gave us a nice spike down, and then we broke this high. Should I take this buy? I'm also not going to take this buy on Dow Jones because when it breaks these highs, the market, for me, it doesn't create a sustainable structure. This isn't bullish, higher highs. This to me looks more like a liquidity capture, an excuse to liquidate retail sellers to trap retail buyers. And so I don't think this move is going to hold up either. I think this is all just a massive liquidity trap on both sides of the spectrum. I haven't gone over Euro USD, but I can here soon. I just want to make sure we are aware of this. Part of trading is not just finding ways to win. It's avoiding losses. And not avoiding as because you're scared, but understanding it's not qualified. The trade isn't good enough. That's the attitude you got to have with this. Like, you can't just give your money to the market just because it's asking nicely. There's some setups that are like the woman in the red dress from the Matrix. It looks good, but it ain't good for you. It looks good on the surface, but you got to dig a little deeper. I am also sometimes on the spectrum. Hey, me too, man. Me too. All right. So, yeah, I'm going to be skipping out on this one. If you're like, you know what, it's good enough for me, then do your thing. Just be able to live with your loss too. All right. Okay. So going back to metals, I have indices here on another chart, so we can take a look at it. I'll just be taking a look in case we get more movement. But so, anyways, We saw silver take out the lows. It's holding this up pretty decent. So there may be a buy order here. This is kind of luring in retail sellers. So it's doing its thing right there. NQ now in this zone. Again, I'm not going to take buys here. If anything, we might see NASDAQ go down to that earlier zone that we liked, way down here. So despite NASDAQ kind of dropping significantly lower, here, it is holding up pretty well. It looks like at the same time we have structure with Dow. So like Dow is just wanting to hold this resistance. But either way, it's just not good enough for any entries for me. And I'm okay with that. So even if this rips and this just goes into profit and the trade would have played out, that's cool with me. Dow had just other signs that it could make its move as well. So right now, for example, let's say you did take this, look at the rejection that it's giving. At this point, I would have moved my stop if I was in this, which obviously I'm not. Just so you guys understand trade management. So this had the sell-off, let's say about 35 points, a 35-point rejection up here. This is, for me, we're seeing the exchange from sellers to buyers, so I wouldn't keep any risk on this anymore. Okay, so between gold and silver, I'm sure you're noticing something interesting here, which is, let me go ahead and let me just delete this here real quick. Keep it clean. So gold made some pretty nice moves, and the last thing that we saw here was a really big spike down, clearing out what was a previous London low, and then trading into right around where we saw Asian open, so Tokyo open here. So this is a last move, one last swipe down to liquidate retail buyers before this started to make its move to the upside. Now, one thing that we want to keep in mind, despite the sweep down, we do still have liquidity right here. And also, we are struggling to create higher highs. So the 15-minute time frame, this 15-minute structure, is still failing to establish new direction. It's not confirming an uptrend here. This is still struggling. So looking for buys here are not an A+ setup because we're not confirming the structure right now. Like, yes, it cleared the lows. It swept, where there was plenty of stops here, absolutely. And then the market came in. We saw more consolidation, more liquidity, blah, blah, blah over here. However, only the small time frames, do we see a shift in momentum? Whereas now we're starting to fail to establish higher highs over here. It's losing that. So unless we get back up here and we really confirm this bullish structure, then I'm going to wait until that's done. So I want to see the market trade back up here, do its thing. Okay, cool. Then I'm in it. Now I'm down. If we don't get that, not so much. So that's what I want to see here for gold. Gold is trading a bit higher, so buys look better on gold than they do for something like silver. Silver also has a lot of motive to drop with this imbalance here. So silver has all of this inefficiency that it could look to target. So we'll keep an eye out on both. We'll see what's happening here. If silver continues to come down and it sustains these lows, then we could be looking for possible shorts on silver. All right, look at this. Dow now working its way further down into this, imbalance over here. It's holding up pretty decent though. Dow Jones came back down to this spike down here. Okay. Nothing for me to do right there. Chilling. This looks better and better down here as we wait. Okay. So that sets the tone there. Let's look at oil, and then we'll look at the majors. So new contracts with oil as well. Make sure you guys are aware of that. We're now on CLG for those of you trading futures. For everyone else trading CFDs, whatever. Nothing changes for you. Structure-wise, so okay, let's zoom out real quick. We just cleared tons of liquidity, daily levels, et cetera, et cetera. So we got below a lot over here. So we see a sweep of that liquidity. The market just immediately rips back to the upside. So that's what we saw here. Yesterday when the market spiked all the way down and then it held up the structure, this was a sweep of higher time frame liquidity and then the movement. All right, check us out, guys. Here's where you avoided any losses by not trading NASDAQ based off of our divergence and correlation rule. So congratulations if you didn't take an L there. Hope that feels pretty good. All right. Now we're going to see the market, see how aggressive Dow works its way down. Even we'll see where NQ works its way back down to as well. But right now, I mean, what's holding up best structure-wise is Dow. Dow is just not really dropping too much. Very, very minimal. Okay. Keep an eye on that. I want to see this break this low. Anyways, so with oil, we kind of see the shakeout. The market clears the lows, comes back up, moves sideways. The break and retest sellers are induced in, and then this comes into the imbalance and absolutely rips. So from here, now we do see a shift in momentum with like the 5-minute structure. So we're seeing higher highs. The market's been trading over here. So I'm sure some of you oil traders are thinking, can I buy oil like in this imbalance somewhere? You see the market start to sell off from the middle of the day, and it just keeps slowly churning and churning and churning until it completely flips back to the upside. So, yeah, I mean, you see the final push down really kind of start right here before everything makes a turn. I don't love this. It just doesn't look like a aggressive sweep of liquidity. I don't know. Yes, there's imbalances over here, but it just doesn't look like a textbook liquidity sweep. Doesn't take out any sessions. It kind of just slowly grinds its way down before reversals. So I might just skip out on oil in general. Maybe it reverses there. Maybe we get a new setup. So I'm going to let oil just kind of do more. Give us more data. That's what I want to see there. All right, Dow just holding on here really, really well. Super, super well here. So buys make more and more sense with Dow since it's just such a strong hold on the structure. Despite the New York open here, like this push down and then the move to the upside, like I mentioned, this to me is just not enough bullish demand to look for the buys right here. Despite the spike down, I'm just not sold on this. So my bias stays the same. All right, let's look at some majors. And also remember, just a reminder for today, we don't have extra news event. We don't have really anything, right? On slow days like this, typically here's where things can get orchestrated. So I feel like Trump's been a little quiet lately. So you might see something, tariffs. We might get a little any of the excuses that they like to use could come into play at some point today. Now, from another point of view, could there be sells today? We saw a nice push up here before the market chopped its way back down. So could we see shorts from NASDAQ today before actually the London high? Here we saw it mitigate very efficient, very nicely. And then the market trades up, comes back down. It kind of chops up a little bit before just continuing to the downside. So if we kind of maintain bearish structure, this could be a decent sell right here. You see a nice push up. The market then clearly reverses. It trades into this area here, this last little push up. And then the market just keeps working its way down. So could see something here. Now, don't forget that Dow did have this NFP zone from yesterday. Remember, we already traded through NFP. Like, NASDAQ's price action is already clean with NFP. S&P is just more bearish overall. So I don't know. I don't think I'm going to be aiming for shorts with Dow up here. I'd have to see something like, I don't know. I'd have to see like NQ really start to push aggressively to the upside, and then Dow slowly work its way up here to sell this. But all right, let's go look at the majors. Let's go see if there's any dollar-based pairs that we have setups coming near or anything like that. Before I do that, let me see what's up with you guys. What are you guys thinking? Morning. What's up? Cozy boy. Big Kevo. Really? Top Step still sucks? Trump's been quiet Venezuela last night. Honestly, I didn't even know. I just was not on any sort of news feeds or Twitter or anything. That makes more sense on a gold. Why gold and the metals are moving so much? Trump's been quiet. Craig's like, are you serious, bro? Top Step's down again. Project X, man. It's probably the same thing on across other. Anyone that uses Project X, they're the ones that are probably struggling. Was able to pass on the eval before it crashed. Oh, that's funny. My boy just stays passing those evals. Okay. Well. All right, so let's take a look at this. With Australian, it's just slowly chopping. Been bearish, but like slowly working its way down. Saw a nice spike above this liquidity before it rallied down. So, yeah, here we go. Massive move up. Yesterday's NFP. The market then came back up to rebalance one more time before it crashed again. So, here you have some sideways movement. Building up retail sellers. One last push up, and then it drops. You could see a short out of here. Depending on what the rest of the dollar pairs look like, there may be selling opportunities here for Australian. We'll see. This is a dollar. This is influenced by the USD. So we want to keep in mind what everything else is looking like here. Didn't know $0 activation fee came with daily outages. Yeah, people are calling it down step now. Top shit. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I use Tradefy. I use Tradevate. All right, so NZD similar, but not as bearish. So 6A would definitely still be a better sell up here. Euro. So we were going over this in our syndicate session yesterday. DeAndre sent this idea. We were talking about structure and then what the market would need to look like for us to be able to look for some sort of short, or what the market would look like in order for this to become a buy setup. And, as El Mago, I predict the future, duh. And it literally played out pretty close to what I said it would. So you saw the mitigation off this sell-off here, right there. And then right now, it's looking like you can see an accumulation here. So look at this from the 1 hour. Actually, look at this from the 4 hour. The 4 hour breaks below and it comes right back in. So it's actually pretty misleading. The 4 hour gives the classic, oh, look, it's a 4 hour close. I never understood why the closing of a candle, like why that mattered. Like, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, okay, cool. It closed at the end of the hour, but then it just went right back up anyways. So is this enough to confirm that the trend is bearish, that there's now a downtrend? Or did this liquidate buyers, trap sellers, and then the market kind of quickly comes back up? So this, to me, does not look like a confirmation of a downtrend, a break of structure. This, to me, looks like it only liquidated buyers, trapped sellers, and this thing is going to want to go again. So I actually like this for a buy instead of for a sell. I'm on the other side of this play now. And this is what we talked about yesterday, was could this entice retail money in so that we have a new position later? So here, not only do we have the original move that liquidates and does its thing, but now we even have here a nice sweep of the lows, fills the imbalance, and you could get a mitigation buy here as well. So I like a buy order here, especially the longer we stay moving sideways. Maybe second half of the day today, maybe tomorrow we have a setup in here. All right, so it looks very clear with euro. Maybe the pound has something similar. So let's see. Let's zoom out again. All right, so let's see here. Dow is pushing up still. So moving on up. NQ also picking up a lot of steam here. So we had Dow finally break above this previous high, and then NASDAQ is now starting to potentially fill this imbalance. Okay. All right. So does selling euro up here still make sense? Because there was a big move, and then everything came crashing down. I think that could you get a reversal out of here? I don't think it's a bad trade, but I wouldn't swing trade this anymore, because now we have confirmation that there's just not too much demand over here. The sole purpose of this was to trap sellers and to liquidate buyers. So if you end up looking for, let's say, the imbalance fill and the market to reverse out of here, I just wouldn't push it too far down. So yeah, keep your eyes open, because this is the post NFP. This is the news event, actually. I think yesterday we had that 9 a.m. news. 8:45, so that's flash services pumping and then things turning back around. So I'd prefer the buy over the sells. Looking at CAD, similar. It was more about clearing liquidity and then coming back in. So CAD also looks a bit more bullish than it does bearish. The yen doing its thing. You had to survive this choppiness yesterday in order to get the sell. So there was the sell, there was a shakeout buy. If you just kept your stop at reduced risk, then you could have taken this and you would have, you would have gotten what you wanted out of this trade. I unfortunately did not survive the consolidation from New York, and then we had the highs here in Tokyo. But on the bright side, we have a new setup here with the yen. So check this out. We were moving sideways, building up liquidity here. Tons of retail sells. We get one more spike up, and then the market crashes down. So not only that, you get a 15-minute break structure. Good demand here. Sells look good on the yen. Excellent. My funded futures, I don't trade with my funded futures, not because they're bad or anything. I just don't have them. That's basically it. I haven't worked my way around to get into them. Right now, I am so I'm max funded with Top Step, with Tradetopia, with Lucid Trading, and then with my own accounts. I haven't considered what the next one would be. Apex, I'm just kind of I just don't want to deal with the equity-based trailing drawdown. Yeah, I don't want to deal with that again. So, all right, anyways, so let me get this here. Let me put this in the community. If you're not in the community, guys, make sure you get in there. If you're here for the first time, hey, if you're here and you don't know me, or you're just like kind of stumbled upon this, drop a 1 in the chat. You're just kind of following along. Drop a 1. Here is scan that so that you can join the free community where it has tons of resources, step-by-step, on how to learn how to do this right, or at least learn our techniques, our entry models, our exits, or just the system overall, how to build one, so that you have that there. So go ahead and scan that. All right, so let me get this yen idea. The yen has just been kind of giving setups. I feel like I'm getting more setups on things outside of indices more than I was like the last 6 months. Like suddenly I'm taking more metals trades, more oil trades, more majors. I don't know what's going on, but whatever. I'm cool with it. Okay. So eventually we could see this work its way up. This was post NFP. So comparing this, and this happened during Tokyo session. So I think this is more of a yen-based movement. And then here we have the pound. So to go over, this is a good one. Damn. This just followed structure really well. I guess I wouldn't say it was like a textbook entry. It just played out of structure, liquidated, and then just traded out of these lows. So I don't know if I would have had it set up per se, but it's looking good. So what did we see? The 1 hour, we had our lows. We had our higher highs over here. So to me, this is the structure, not this. So I think some people would have made this their new structure. But the reason I put this all under one is because when the market breaks these highs, it doesn't establish a new higher high. It doesn't create enough bullish demand. So this is just a failed creation of structure. So the whole thing, this still remains one big move. So that's why trading within the zone still would be valid, in my opinion. So this, similar to Euro, we see a massive sell-off. So here's a huge sell. This liquidates orders. The market comes back up. It's slowly just climbing its way up into this zone. I like this for a shakeout. So you have the liquidity capture. You have the market rebalancing right now. And if the market decides to want to work its way lower, down to here, I'm open to taking this buy and working up to kind of this range up here. So I like I like a position over here. And then, yeah, we got stops like right there. Risk reward, just kind of take this to the next level, to the next structure. Here we had a good pump before it dropped, so trade it into here. 3.67R all day. I'm not sure if we're going to get here right away. But yeah, this is our shakeout model right here. So this aligns with Euro. It's going to be, in my opinion, like, all right, which one looks best? So we got 6B here. Signature, shakeout, entry model. And then let's go bring it back to Euro. Euro, same thing. Let me zoom in for the entry. Looks like I'd take it from here in this order block, right where we've seen a lot of support right around here. And I would take this to here. Like, probably goes higher, but this is where the buy starts. So taking it to here looks good. 6.35R. That's nice. All right, so here's the Euro. 6E Euro. Okay. And this is also signature. Shakeout. Entry model. Okay. Both are there now. The major is looking pretty clean. DLR. Is that Dollar Tree? No. Is it? Let's see. What is this? I forgot. DLR. Why do I have this here? Digital Realty Trust. Oh, this is a REIT. Okay. All right, that's just random for you guys right now. So don't even worry about this. Okay. Let's come back to indices. What are we doing here? Right? What are we doing here? We have NQ that's struggling to work its way up, so still holding these lows. It did sweep a bit here, but in my opinion, it's not enough to start looking for buys. So I'm kind of hanging out, cooling down. This might be something worthwhile, but considering that Dow is a lot more bullish, might not be the case. If we start to look at Dow Jones now, remember that New York Open, right? We had the market spike down right here. So we had this push down right there. That's that New York Open movement. Originally, price didn't really trade up here for too long. And then we filled some of this imbalance before New York Open. The market now has been trading above here for about 30 minutes. So now, does buying Dow here from New York Open, does this make sense now? Is the question. We had some liquidity here, took that out. So, what do we think? Is it worth pursuing a buy here now that we've gotten worked our way higher for some time? Or is this still failing to really prove anything to us here? So let's see. If NASDAQ starts to pick up more momentum faster to the downside again, like it was before, then I'm open to it. I'm going to go half risk with something like this. I think, there's a possibility it could work out here. This is still above the previous session lows, so I'm just going to set up a little idea right there just to see what it would take. I'm very much going to be paying attention to how these are moving compared to one another before making any decisions. But at most, I'm going to approach this with a half hour. BTC is pushing, huh? Let's see. I haven't looked at where Bitcoin's at. Nice, just cracked 90. Sick. BTC moving very nicely. That mitigation holding up. Yeah, absolutely pushing now. Did ETH drop lower? No, just kind of held this up. Okay. I'm curious if we're going to push down again one more time. So I'm imagining we fill probably the rest of this here. ETH worked its way beyond 3,100. Bitcoin really pushing way faster, clearing out the weekly highs already. ETH is lagging behind quite a bit. Sol possibly in a mitigation here where we had a big buy order, so I'm not surprised if you see a short out of this here. And then Bitcoin sweeping liquidity, the weekly highs. This could turn into a shakeout as well. Give it time so it can prove itself or not. If you're in Bitcoin buys from earlier this week, definitely move stops into profit if you haven't already. FTMO, I don't really trade CFDs. So I just decided to focus on futures. If you're going to trade CFDs, I do think FTMO is a good option. I don't want to have so many different platforms. It's a lot to do at once. But if you are doing CFDs, yeah, I think so. Angela, what's up? I secured a 1-4 with GU. I was able to get in that sell. Nice. Part 2 of my mental training, getting comfortable with what's out of my control, the trading platform, while maintaining neutral and disciplined. Yeah, for sure. I know it's annoying and frustrating, guys, when you can't trade. Like, you paid to be able to trade and do these things. Here's the thing. Like, just think about it this way. Like, these are just good reminders on a couple things. So I talked about this with the Syndicate gang yesterday. But think about it this way. Like, it shows you how important it is to have ownership over your capital. It shows you, okay, Top Step's down. So what can I get out of this? Do I just keep throwing money at them? Well, the issue is Project X. So is it a good idea to have maybe one account somewhere else at least? I think that's probably a good idea. Is it a good idea to start funding your own live account? Yeah. And, especially if you're trading futures and you're going to fund it on, Ninja Trader, Tradevate, you're going to need a couple $1,000s, which is why people wanted to trade CFDs, because they could just throw, $50, $100, whatever, and then, start to figure it out. But if you're going to trade live, like, one, make sure that you have a system that you can follow, that you're not super impulsive, that you're not going to just lose a couple of trades and just blow it all. And then just like a savings account, like, have a plan so that you're scaling into it, growing it, and you're able to, have a target in mind. That's what I did. So I think having your own live account, even if it's just putting a couple $100 and you can't trade it yet, but just kind of keep investing into it until you can trade a micro, on like MYM or MNQ, then once you have a couple thousand in there, 2, 3, it'll be like you'll be able to trade it and not be taking a massive, like there'll be enough margin for you to take one, and then it won't be a huge hit if you do lose, percentage wise. And then obviously having access to other prop firms with different platforms goes a long way. So Tradetopia, I don't think I've really ever seen it completely crash since I've been using them for the last like 3 years or so. So 4 years, 3 or 4 years. Yeah. So anyways, sure. The service of some of these platforms are not up to par right now. Okay. But being angry, being upset, just getting stuck into it doesn't make a difference for you. They're more than likely going to at least, give you something, a free reset or whatever, some bullshit, but they'll do something. And then now you have more perspective. It's like, all right, cool. I do want to have access to making money in different avenues. So I look at different trading prop firms or your own accounts as different income streams as a trader. You have money coming in from different places, and you're mitigating the risk of not being able to make any money. So yeah, it's a good idea to have multiple. And that I use Trade Syncer, so that even if, like, for example, let's say I took a trade right now, it would copy it over to the other, the other however many accounts. And then if one's down, then it just can't do anything in it, but at least it trades to everything else. Okay. So Dow working its way down again, starting to push lower and lower, as is NASDAQ here. So we're getting this bearish momentum, potentially seeking buys here, if not down here. I just want to see how aggressive this moves. If Dow is dropping way faster than NQ, then I'm just going to avoid it as well. Nice. This is moving really nice. Finally, man, we needed to see crypto run a little bit, a little something. Come on now. Oil, possible oil here. Shakeout maybe later. What are we seeing with gold? Gold pushing higher still. Silver worked its way up. Ooh, okay. Interesting. Silver shakeouts. Very much possible. Stay tuned. I don't know if it's bullish enough yet, but it's got a chance. All right, looking at everything else. Pound still feeling more of the imbalance. The yen really slow. Okay. All right, so while we're waiting for indices to do their thing, let me go take a look at overall what the crypto market's doing. Ski mask bouncing. It needed to anyways, so this thing is pathetic right now. Definitely just going to take a break even if we get back to it. I feel, honestly, crypto overall, I do think we're going to get our bull run. Like, that really hasn't changed for me. It's just been really slow, like how interest rates have been rolled out. And now with the confirmation of quantitative easing, then they're going to be printing more money. So assets should typically fly over the course of the next year or so. So not really concerned. There's definitely some that I don't have best entries in anymore. And then, but I'm just adding to what I have here. So, yeah. All right, cool. That's looking better. Stocks here. Chipotle, let's go. We're up on Chipotle about almost 20%. Solid. Everything else it's a pretty green day stocks wise though. Etsy, PayPal hit, I think, our zone here not too long ago. Yeah, right there, right in this pocket, right under 60. Nice little bounce. Let's see what's down today. Celsius down fat. What else? Spotify, a little drop. If y'all wanted some Spotify entries, I like Spotify entries right now. All right. Solar picking up some steam. Okay, cool. So, look at this. Dow is starting to drop and drop and drop. Now trading down to here. And look at NASDAQ. NASDAQ just kind of stopped moving. It just stopped. So this buy is looking more and more suspicious for Dow. Top steps back up. The full screen goes hard. You know we're about to get some gold. Gotta, I mean, if there's nothing on the charts, then I might as well give you all a little, straight talk. So here's what I'm looking at. If NQ clears this 845 candle right here first, and then Dow is slower to work its way down, I'll take a half R on this. I'm cool with that. If not, then I think the lower idea still makes a lot of sense, which would be kind of trading out of this area. But sadly, today has not been one of those days where, we get into a setup together live. You get to see me float thousands in drawdown or in profit. We just are chilling. Not much to do here. Let me ask you guys a question. Did you guys get for those of you that had Top Step errors, mistakes on your accounts, did any of you have yours reset already? Did you have yours all cleaned up? Or is it still just showing the same as the other day? Let me know in the chat. Nothing happened. I didn't get any the losses cleaned up or anything like that. It just stayed the same. It actually glitched on one of my accounts and it lost the account. Top step back up. I didn't get an email or anything. Limit that was placed before the crash played out and profits have been left on the account. All right, but for those of you that lost when you weren't supposed to, let me know. I'm sure these guys are slammed, absolutely slammed right now. Yeah, if you guys want to laugh, just go to their Discord. And it's just everyone raging. All right, let's see here. Yeah, everyone here. Here's the CEO's message. He goes, real talk, Top Step community. I hear you. And I hear the frustration. We've grown wild fast this year because we have the best program. But with that growth, we haven't delivered the best trading experience or the best support. And that's on us. We see it. We're fixing it. Adjustments to improve your trading and support experience are our top priority. More details coming soon. Well, Michael, that really doesn't do anything for the people. I don't think anyone really cares. Well, crazy to say major outage and we the best in the same tweet. That is pretty crazy. All right. Well, Dow recovered nicely here, pushing along as well. NQ moving up, I'd say actually a bit faster. So take a look at price action here. Here's where we got really choppy with NASDAQ. So we saw liquidity building up here. So it looks like we're about to take this, while Dow, which was initially a lot more bullish, is kind of moving on up a little bit more slowly. So our sells from here for Dow might actually have a chance. And this sell would be above 88.50 for me, like up here. So let's see what it looks like. Let's see how it all comes together and go from there. I'm going to look at the chat. The profit I made on 6J never went back to the zero the next day. Totally doesn't change the contract for me when I change the pair I'm looking at. Today it doesn't change the contract for me when I change the pair I'm looking at. Okay, that's weird. Yeah, so it looks like it's just a mess, at least over there so far. So, guys, you know, ironically, this wasn't my intention originally, but it is what it is now. If you are exploring different options, then, I mean, at least I've had a really good experience with Tradetopia. As you guys know, I have an affiliate there at the top of the screen. The code is MAGO. Their accounts are pretty similar. I know a lot of you, honestly, I got a lot of DMs about that yesterday. It's pretty similar. So right now what I'll do is I'm just going to show you guys their accounts. Honestly, for me, it's just cool to have options. Before this was all these issues with Project X. I wouldn't say I was like, oh, Tradetopia is so much better. It was just something different to add, and they had different options. Obviously, it's the Project X platform that kind of sucks right now. But if you want to, you know, do something else, diversify your risk, and you're going to go in this direction, then they have a couple cool options. Their growth account, which is the typical challenge that you guys are familiar with. Basically the same rules. $2,000 drawdown on the 50K, $3,000 target. They have a daily loss limit. This is a soft breach, I believe. And then, actually, I'm not sure if it's a soft breach or not. But there's no activation fee, so you pay for it per month, but then you don't pay once you pass to activate it, so you don't have to deal with that. So there's one option. I would go with Tradevit and not Project X. This is the same as Top Step X, so just I'd stick with Tradevit. But the cool thing is, if you hit the target in one day, probably over leveraged, it's fine. Now the select, this one's pretty cool. This is the one where I think the daily payouts options is just pretty sick. This one, it is going to take you a little bit longer to pass, which I don't think is a big deal in my opinion, and it's easier. So you do need, I think, at least 3 trading days. And then the consistency is 40%, which means that one trading day can be max 40% of your total target. So, for example, here, you can make $1,000 max in a day to pass this. If you make more, then you have to make more. But that's it. The target's $500 less, so it is easier. But the coolest thing is that you can kind of go 2 routes. So you can get daily payouts, which is dope. And your max payout is $1,000 a day. So if you have a big day and you don't want to go, honestly, I'm sure this would be useful to a lot of you. I don't know how many of you I've seen that you have a huge trading day. Like all you're missing is just 2 or 3 more days left to get your qualify for your payout, and then you just fuck it up. You get greedy. You get, I don't know what. It's just, you throw the plans away, right? You just focus on the money. You're focused on getting a bigger and bigger payout, and you just blow up. So to be able to just have a big day and then just be able to pay yourself at least anything you want, $100, $200, $500, whatever, I think that's going to be a more profitable process while you guys are building your discipline. So the daily payout option is pretty cool. Obviously, the max payout is less, so you can't just take huge trades every day, withdrawals every day. And then you have the flex, which is similar to what you might be familiar with Top Step, where it's every 5 days, but the max payout is $3,000. There is no consistency rule, so that's nice. There is no daily loss limit. So I think if you are still kind of proving yourself as a trader, building your discipline, you know you're not like super disciplined, but you're working on it, I think the select daily is best. If you are pretty good, you can pass challenges and you're pretty good at discipline, then I'd say the growth is better. if you are already a militant, disciplined machine, and you just you know you can trade, then the Lightning accounts are worth it. They definitely cost more, but they also get more drawdown. So it's kind of up to you. I think if you're disciplined, and then the consistency, so you can make 20% max per day. So it's going to take a bit more time, but now you're not in a rush to pass anything. You don't need validation from anybody. There's no like, you just trade, and then whenever you get to to your target, then you get to your target. So, for example, if you do a 50K, once you get to 3,000, then you can pull your first payout for like 1,000. Cool. And there's no rush. So there's no passing and then paying and then trading again. It's just, you just trade. Whereas, think about it this way. When you're doing a challenge, you hit the target twice. You hit it once. So let's say you make 3K once to get funded, and then you have to basically go do it again so that you finally get a payout. So you got to make 6,000 until you get your first, let's say, $1,000 payout. Whereas if you go Lightning, you make your first 3,000 and then you get your payout. You just can't make massive over leveraged trades. So, but again, I'm saying this very clearly. I do the Lightning ones because one, it saves me time. I don't have to go through that process, and two, I already know I can do this. So I just kind of get straight to the point. Be honest with yourself. If you're not journaling every day, if you're over leveraging, if you're moving your stops, if you're revenge trading often, just don't overspend. All right. Just do what you got to do. If you're getting better at this, you feel decent, you're like, all right, I'm experimenting with certain things, but I feel pretty good as a trader. I think there's a good shot I can actually make something out of this. Then sure, go ahead, select daily. I think those are pretty good. So yeah, know your route that you want to take. Hopefully that clears things up. Gives a little bit of perspective there. If any questions with that, let me know, guys, in the chat. La recomiendo la cuenta Lightning. Si eres disciplinado y ya tienes experiencia y disciplina, entonces sí. When using Tradevate on TradingView, how does the contract work? Does it change automatically, or do you have to go into Tradify and see what the new contract is? Yeah, you have to choose the right contract. So just like you see me, I have NQH pulled up here, YMH. ¿Nos puedes explicar un poco sobre tu fondeo en español y si está abierto para cualquier país, porfa? Pues tú puedes también preguntar aquí si está abierto en tu país, no sé dónde vives. Entonces aquí en Tradify puedes ver dónde está disponible. Me imagino que sí. Y son igual, similar a reglas que en otros fondeos. Estos son futuros, solo para estar claro. You don't know how futures works? If you don't know how futures work, the good thing is I made a video that walks you through how to go from CFDs to futures. So let me pull this up. Let me drop that here. If you guys have any, friends that want to make that switch, just check it out here. So this is CFDs to futures blueprint. There you go. And then if you guys are looking to do this, which is cool, we're about to hit. And then here you go, get your Tradify account here. Or about to hit whatever the number is. I think it's like 1,000 for the to unlock the affiliates. And then once I get that, I'm gonna do a huge giveaway. I'm gonna do like a 10 account giveaway. So yeah, Steven, click on that video so you can kind of learn more about it, get more familiar with it. You guys can make demo accounts for futures trading too, so you don't have to, pay to learn. Great. I see Seth in the chat helping out as usual, being a G. Okay. Now, what are we doing here? We have Dow crashing down, about to get to this like 840 candle. Here we have that 845 one. So Dow Jones definitely a bit more aggressive to the downside right now. NQ looks like it's about to clear out those lows again. I feel like taking a position on Dow here, I don't think it's going to work out. Maybe it does, but it's just pushing it down really aggressively. And the way that this came up and back down, I just don't think it's going to be enough. So, honestly, I'm going to pass on this buy. I could see it, meh, but I don't love it. It's just not calling to me in the same way. So, I'm going to stay out. I'm not going to trade this. No voy a comprar Dow aquí. And then look at this. So now NQ broke this low while Dow came into this position. So this might play out because now we just saw the new low. This swept the New York low that it had just made. So maybe this plays out. Maybe not. If it does, I'm not feeling any type of way about it. What I want now actually is this. So, oh, look at that. We avoided a loss. Beautiful. So now we have Dow gearing up towards this area. Down over here is where we had that imbalance from Asian session. And then we also have NQ pulling down to take out this liquidity. So if we see NASDAQ clear this liquidity, play into the zone, and Dow is also basically in the same area, I like that. I like that for buys. Hola Mike, hay que hacerle colchón para poder retirar. Sí, porque necesitas pues más dinero para poder operar después que retiras con futuros. Where do you make a futures demo account? You can make one straight on Tradetopia. Yeah, you can make a simulated account there. My suggestion too, for those of you that are going to be trading with a lot more money, is to make your trading account based off of a business like an LLC or an S corp or whatever. I'm not a tax strategist or anything like that, but that way you're operating as a business and you can reap the benefits of that as well. If you zoom out on the YM 15-minute, there's trendline liquidity directly below the buy zone. All right. Thanks for the heads up. I may have missed that. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I saw this before. You're saying this? Here? Yeah, so I think this is going to break, though. So right now it's bouncing out of here. But I think it's going to break this trend line liquidity here. So if it breaks through, then that would be sweeping liquidity. And then, yeah, just like Seth said, you can paper trade directly on TradingView, but it will be a delayed data. Gold leaving a lot of liquidity to the upside. We can go check in on gold. It's been a second. We'll do one final run through and then we'll call it here. So we got tons of liquidity. Gold spiked up again, creating more equal highs. What's silver doing? Silver chilling. Silver dropping early. So the shakeout on silver, not quite there. It's dropping too fast. Not something I'm willing to buy into. Nah. So much value on this call today. Thank you. I got you. Also, guys, if you're enjoying this, feel free to tag me, tag Tradetopia, for, let the people know we're here for free every day. All right. So we're seeing another push down on Dow. All right. Going lower. NQ about to break the liquidity. Okay. I thought I was going to be done, but we're so close to potentially taking setups that, you know, I'm going to keep rocking with y'all. Don't worry. We'll stay a little bit longer. Hit the like button for the team. Yeah. We need the likes. You know, got to validate my existence, please. I don't even know. Where does it show that? The back end on this thing kind of changed. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate y'all. Yeah, we're getting... The views are going up. The views are going up again. I want to see everybody win here. Like, I need to see these 4-figure, 5-figure, 6-figure, 7-figure payouts. I'm going to be audacious enough and say that next year, Tradetopia is going to have a 7-figure payout. And it's not just going to be me. So, who's it going to be? Who's it going to be, huh? Printing. Liquidity builds up even more. I'll do it. Brandon, you're up for it? With the Futures Live account, can you hold trades overnight? Yes, you can. Mm-hmm. Let's go. I don't see why not. I don't see why not. What do y'all think? Are we gonna crash below soon or what? All right, here, Top Step Support dropped a message. Hey traders, we're receiving reports that some traders are running into unexpected behavior with their ability to log and connect. You may notice that you're unable to execute a trade. If you're experiencing this issue, we recommend you pause. Wow. Our team is investigating, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so nothing there. Everyone's pissed. Everyone's so pissed. All right. NQ sweeping liquidity, trading down into the range. Nice. Dow starting to break through the trend line. So we have trend line liquidity here building up. So this more than likely should give a pretty decent drop, which would then make sense for it to drop into this level. Now, you have kind of two zones because you have this big sell over here too. So you had a huge sell-off, got really choppy, really sideways, and then the market rallied. So somewhere within this range makes sense. Conservative stop loss would be down here. I'm not going to take that. I'm going to just take my stop down here. So this is the setup that I'm looking at. Here we go. Over here. Now we can put this one into play, actually. Create limit order. I'm going to just go half R on this. Actually, let's see. Hold on. I'm going to go full R on this. All right. Stop, set, and we're good here. Okay. This would be taking out London lows, trading into the Asian session imbalance here. Getting pretty close. NQ approaching this area too. Here we are. I want to see how this aligns, like how these both end up, where they end up. So by the time NASDAQ is like around this support within the zone, where Dow is playing. And you can see like this is just dropping a lot more aggressively. Dow is dropping, but just with less intensity. So we're about to break below the London lows. There we go. Now we're breaking through. Now we're in this imbalance. Now it's going to come down to how far into this imbalance the market goes and then if we end up getting an opportunity to take a trade or not. I'd say if NASDAQ mitigates out of here, then I won't pursue. I'll have to just delete everything. So we had a pretty good sell-off here with NQ, which was about, let's say, a little over 60 points. We just had, if we see this, make that kind of move, then that's it. That's game. Let's see, all right, NQ pushing a little lower still. Dow had the initial bounce. Let's see if it drops down one more time. Okay, now we're sitting at where we've seen support here. Here's where, if I wasn't looking at anything else, NQ would have been an idea. It's not for now. Take a look at S&P. S&P about to break the lows, and it did break the lows. Ooh, okay. S&P cracking below these lows. So reversals are possible now that it's broken through. We have Dow in this imbalance, not quite at this last order block yet. So I could see market reversals out of here. I'm not going to take a position early, but I could see it. I could see it happen out of here. I'm going to wait for my setup to come into place. Or if not, then we just delete and move on with our lives. This would be still, the mitigation would be about 60 points. So it would have to go like up to here. Just place an alert here if that's the case. Let's see if it happens. All right, what's up, chat? What's good? No swap fees. Yep. Okay, so look, we're just tapping into the zone. Oh, this just missed the limit. No way. That's crazy. Let's see if we get in there one more time. Still valid for entries. Still holding here. Ideas still valid. Yesterday I tried to sell something, but I was placed so much higher than I wanted to. Yeah, it was probably a tops-up issue. BTC long rise process in 2026. Yeah, I love it, Satoshi. I feel like, I don't know if we're going to get in this one. It's getting so close, but it keeps missing just by a hair. Fuck. These are some of the examples where, because this played right out of the structure right there. Boom. Worst case, we end up getting a shakeout maybe. Worst case scenario. Yeah, look at this. This is already going towards the mitigation. This is almost there. It needs maybe 12 more points. And then this is fully made its move. In from 451. Sorry, Greg's always in the ones I don't get into. That missed me by a little bit. I was 3 points shy. What the? Crazy. Ain't that some shit right there? Okay, so both would have played out. And Q would have mitigated nicely. Or it did mitigate nicely. It looks like just about 60 points. Dow came through, rebalanced, played out of the tip top of the structure. So great. It did all that. Now we can see, okay, from this point, is there opportunity? So I'm going to delete my limit. Goodbye, good sir. So here's, look at this. 3 points out. And at this point, we would have been up like 1,000 or so. So it is what it is. Let me just, this movement to the upside, this kind of rejection was, in my opinion, this was a full mitigation. So I'm going to delete this. This order we already got the exchange of money. So the sellers became the buyers. Great. We saw London lows get swept. So at this point, now, if we maintain demand, I would be down for it, whether it's with NASDAQ or it's with Dow. We'll see. We need a bit more proof. So I'm not going to take a position right away or anything just because it's pulling back now. I need this thing to prove it's that the demand is just not quite there. Fuck, bro. I just want to make this money on this account, but I'm missing shit. Yeah, you sound emotional. Don't worry about it. It's just another day. Think about it this way. Here's how I think about it. There's been so many days that you haven't made money trading. What's the difference if there's one more? Right? Like, all right, it's one more day that no money was made. Think about it. That's how I used to think about it. Like, I was like, well, I've been like in my first, just when I started trading, my thought was like, well, I've been poor for a while. So what's another day, Like, that's what would help me kind of stay focused on the process, was like, all right, well, if I'm doing all the right things, I already know, like, nothing really changes. What's another day? I've already lived thousands of days like this. It just feels more intense because you feel closer, because it feels like you deserve it. In a way, it's like, is it fair? No. But don't let it own you. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Anyways, also make sure you guys are sleeping, man. Like, you're going to feel more if you're just not resting and recovering the way you should be. Okay. So this already did its thing. I'm not pursuing anything extra on here. I just need a completely new market behavior to do anything. So going to go ahead and chill. Honestly, what could be a good setup now is sells somewhere here, whether it's Dow, whether it's NQ in the future. So, yeah, I mean, we got nothing going on over here. Everything's closed out. Nothing's active. We're just chilling. And then now we get to see this. We're going to see NQ just take out these lows again. So let's zoom out. It's about to be a 2-hour stream today. We already mitigated from here. So now it looks like we're about to break through these lows. And then maybe we trade down to here. NQ. NQ distributing really nicely, man. Cool. Oh, there's a Coast Guard helicopter. That's strange. We got S&P filling in balance now. Nice. And then we have Dow trading still within the structure. So what's it going to be, folks? You still have this. I feel like, I don't know if we got the mitigation out of this, though. Like, this big picture, like, did we reverse out of here? Do we need to, even? With everything else that already swept liquidity, like, I just feel like we might get some buys out of this zone now that all of this has been cleared out. But riskier play. Riskier play. All right. Well, guys, if any new setups show up here, I'll let you guys know. I'll go ahead and share those. I'll keep my eyes out on just the market across the board. Probably going to go lift right now. And then, I'll have my eyes on things and see what we do. But, yeah, man, appreciate you guys as always. We'll be live early tomorrow. Remember, tomorrow we have CPI. So our live stream will be 45 minutes before the usual time. So make sure you're there. Stay tuned with all of our updates in the community. Get access to the resources, boot camps, courses, the vault, the last 10 years of stuff that I've done. Check that out. And then for those of you that want 2026 to be different, you want to get paid, you want to build this as a professional lifestyle, then book a call on the right. Ask yourself, what exactly you want out of next year, and if that includes having direct access to myself, systems, having these feedback-based conversations, having over 150 trainings specifically designed around your psychology, your systems, and your finances, then book a call on the right so you can figure out if this is for you, and then that way we can make a plan around how to work together. So book a call on the right. Otherwise, join the vibes, the community on the left. Much love, y'all. See you tomorrow, bright and early.